Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Here in the logs in Giabania, where I entirely forgot we had the weapon project here with Gaius and co. Svenja, I'm afraid we haven't much in the way of information to share from the front line. We have, however, received word that Gaius wishes to speak with you at Alliance headquarters. I've arranged an escort to take you to headquarters, so when you're ready to depart, speak with a fellow over there. Ready to head out? Yep. Good, you're here. The Ironworks have completed their analysis of a ruby weapon, and Sid Garland wishes to share his findings. I take it you can spare a few moments? Very good. Please wait here while I inform him of your arrival. Glad you could make it, Serenia. I'm sure you're anxious as anyone to hear what we've discovered. Our early hypotheses were proven correct. The Guardians have designed a system whereby a pilot's consciousness can be forcibly supplanted with data based on the memories and experience of another. So even a rank amateur could obtain the combat capabilities of a seasoned warrior? Precisely, and we learned how this was made possible when we opened the cockpit. The monitors were still operational, and among the messages displayed, one particular phrase caught my attention. Synthetic aura sight system. Which is what exactly? Well, the core of the Ultima weapon was referred to as the Heart of Zabik by the Ascians. We believe it to have been a type of aura sight. I can't say much for the synthetic sort at this stage, but I've encountered real aura sight before. It's extremely potent, perhaps equal in power to the Heart of Zabik. It's unclear whether the Guardian's simulacrum possesses the same properties as a genuine aura sight, but I intend to follow this avenue of inquiry and see where it leads. What we do know is that it was used to implant the combat data of Neil Vandanus into the pilot, who has been presumed dead since before the calamity. Are you any closer to discovering how we were able to retrieve this data? The link didn't occur to Gaius at first, but he later told me of devices fitted to the Magitech armor of the Empire's high-ranking officers. There's reason to believe they are designed to emulate the soul crystals used throughout Eorzea. Yes, that was rumored to be its true purpose, but was never publicly acknowledged. Perhaps those in the upper echelons of command wanted to avoid comparisons to the so-called savages they were meant to be conquering. There's also the question of whether this system even functions as intended. From what we've seen, we can assume they are successful in gathering combat data of those wearing armor equipped with a device. If a comparison with soul crystals is valid, perhaps this data was transferred via ether. However, it seems that it extracted not only memories relating to combat, but the soldier's very essence. As you saw, the pilot succumbed entirely to the will of Vandanus. Though it is merely supposition, it's possible that being fused with a ruby weapon's core accelerated the process and caused the deceased legatus to manifest in corporeal form. Could it be that the death of a pilot was caused by the system malfunction? It's hard to say. The ruby weapon itself was still largely intact when it deactivated, which strongly implies it was the synthetic aura sight running amok that killed her, rather than the damage incurred during the battle. But even after our analysis, I'm afraid we still don't have enough data. For now, perhaps we should consult with Gaius as to our next plan of action. I still need to get to the bottom of how the synthetic aura sight system works, and whether the pilot's fusion with the core was a malfunction or planned from the start. Vidolin has come bearing vital information. I traced the ruby weapon's path back to the occupied territory of Verlet, which appears to be where it was built. Where exactly is Verlet? While Al Amigo is placed on the western edge of Gimlet, Verlet lies on the opposite side, to the east. It was once a proud and prosperous city, until it was brought to its knees by the Imperial invaders. You seem rather well informed. Perhaps I should have taken you with me. I thought that much was common knowledge. It's also where Alphonse and the others were born. And now the weapon project has brought them home. Yes, the place is now rife with Imperials. They've established an airship supply depot in the coastal town of Turncliffe. According to the locals, something resembling one of the weapons was transported there a few days ago. This bodes ill indeed. Were it possible, I would attempt to capture Alphonse and his followers before they can launch an offensive. However, the distance between here and Turncliffe presents a considerable obstacle, and in all likelihood their weapon will be ready long before we arrive. Approaching by sea would allow us to save time by circumventing their ground-based troops, provided we were able to secure a vessel. Or you could use the Enterprise and take the most direct route of all, as the crow flies. In fact, this is a perfect chance to put my top-secret plan into action. And might I ask what that entails? It wouldn't be much of a secret if I told you now, would it? But I can say it, there's a staring well planned for you, Serenia. Was so surprised. You didn't think I'd let you get off that easily, did you? It'll be here soon. So don't go anywhere. I don't like surprises like this. Many Imperials who fought at Gimlet withdrew to Verlet, but they will have had ample time to recuperate by now. Were we to approach by land, we could expect considerable resistance. I must admit I'm not fond of surprises, or secrets for that matter. I see Sid still delights in keeping others in suspense. I can only hope he does not make us wait over long. What the? Huh. All right. Here it is, Serenia. I present Galen Irok's adaptation of the Ultima Warrior, the G Warrior. I know Alagan Designman has seen it. Excavated from one of her ruins, no doubt. Azazla, to be precise. We came across it during the course of our investigations and decided it would be a shame to let it go to waste. Right, the Ultima Warrior was a boss in... Fractal Continuum, I believe? The museum, the heart mission, I believe. And you'll be taking this refitted relic to face the enemy head-on, yes? Perhaps my knowledge of the Ultima weapon will be of use. I'm counting on it as it happens, but first we need to perform a test run in the simulator before throwing you into battle. Come, we haven't much time. coming battle you fight as the G-Warrior. Let's begin the G-Warrior training simulation. I prepared 3 trials to teach you the basics. First, I want you to try attacking the guidance system. Don't worry, it won't fight back. The G-Warrior is armed with a range of weaponries. Now's your chance to learn what it's capable of. Okay, what does it have? This to all enemies in a straight line. Nice. Restoration. Vulnerability up. Some recast and weapon skill increasing. So far, so good. Let's move on to something a bit more advanced, shall we? The G-Warrior is also equipped with a pyretic booster, which diverts even more power to his weapons and increases its speed and maneuverability. This, however, comes at a price. Activating it places a huge strain on the G-Warrior, so it must only be used in short bursts. That's why it's best to practice here before heading into battle. Now, try activating the pyretic booster. You notice that your movement speed is much improved, but also shown on your monitor, the G-Warrior becomes more and more structurally unstable as time passes. To deactivate the pyretic booster, press the same button again. Auto restoration can mitigate a certain amount of damage incurred, but don't rely on it to carry you through the battle. Now try using the pyretic booster to destroy the target. This time, the note will launch wide-reaching attacks in quick succession, but with your increased movement speed, you should have no trouble evading them. Excellent work, Sylvania. You'd best deactivate the pyretic booster while I explain the final trial. We've covered offense, now to look at defense. This is where the ethereal Aegis should come in handy. Unfortunately, you can't keep the barrier up indefinitely as it will drain the G-Warrior's power reserves. You might even run out of energy for the weapon, so watch out. First, let's try deploying the ethereal Aegis. The monitor shows how much power is being drained. Don't let it get too low. That's enough for now. Turn off the barrier using the same button used to deploy it. For the last trial, use the ethereal Aegis while attempting to destroy the target. Unlike before, there is no way to escape its attacks, so you need to weather them using the barrier. You're natural. Alright, that's everything. Time to end the simulation. In case I want to train again here. No. I suppose that in theory any one of us could be the pilot, but as your preternatural abilities give you a certain advantage. Incredible, but how does it compare to the weapons? Are you sufficiently prepared? When we shall depart for Turncliffe at once. It seems they're expecting us, but who's the pilot? So when you're almost there, you'd better have your wits about you. Initiate combat mode. Now get ready to strike. Key warrior, engage! That sounds awfully familiar. Mark for Anti-Icon War Machina. The Sapphire Weapon. I can't afford to lose. It's all or nothing. Activating Oversoul. Hydra's combat sample ready. Initiating organic core override. No, I can't. Hold on. I will be monitoring the situation from the air. Follow my instructions and eliminate the target. Well, it seems the savages have been busy. I shall enjoy breaking their new toy. Must have solved an aquatic icon. We should use a piratic beast in the ethereal Aegis. Good. Is that Ultima? Use the ethereal Aegis. It's submerged, but not for long. Watch for signs of movement. Turret, huh? Turrets are preparing to self-destruct. Destroy them with the Ultima Buster. Regular image. Okay, so... just which... Ugh. But... that was the wrong button. Again. Ow. All right. Let's prioritize. You look smaller. Oh, is this a timer? It is bad when, because I didn't realize it. Might need to repeat here. Yeah, but this was an instant kill because I didn't realize I could attack him again. Whew. The target has been silenced. Understood. Now that the immediate threat has been dealt with, we should gather what information we can in Turncliffe. Having a freaking mecha battle here. The lift leads down to the storage area where the weapons are kept. Unfortunately, the Imperials didn't leave an awful lot behind for us to investigate, but they did give us a place to carry out maintenance on the G-Warrior. In fact, I can take you down there for a closer look if you're interested. Looking at the time, I think it's a relatively good point to end the episode. Sorry about the abrupt break. Until next time, when we continue right here. I'm Mace, and don't get lost.